Next on BGSU Brain Game, it's Tiffin Columbian versus St. John's. I think we better get ready for a battle of the neural ninjas. Only one team can leave victorious. Who's it going to be? Only one way to find out. BGSU's Brain Game starts right now. And welcome to BGSU Brain Game. It is Tiffin Columbian versus St. John's. For Tiffin Columbian, led by Coach Cole. In slot number 1, we have Ashley, a senior. In slot number 2, it is Ash, a junior. And the senior member of the crew in slot number 3 is Alex. Now your St. John's lineup, led by Coach Tittle. In slot number 1 is a senior, Wyatt. Slot number 2, sophomore James. And in slot number 3, also a sophomore, Josh. And that's your starting lineup for this episode of BGSU Brain Game. Let's get right to it. Let's get to our toss-up round as we always do. In this round, there are 10 questions. They are worth 10 points apiece, no deduction for an incorrect answer. So if you think you know it, I say go for it. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can, I repeat, you can steal a question in this round. St. John's, Tiffin Columbian, are you ready? Yeah. Here we go. In which Robert Louis Stevenson novel would you find the character Blind Pew? Time. That would be Treasure Island. Next question. Following an 1871 fire that leveled many of its buildings, this Midwestern city, that would be Tiffin Columbian, Alex.
Chicago.
Chicago is correct. Became the unofficial architectural capital of the U.S. The underdeveloped young of this subclass of mammals live in a pouch within their mother after, that would be St. John's. Josh.
Marsupials.
Marsupials is what we're looking for there, including kangaroos and wallabies. Flora is one concept that describes all of the plants and trees that thrive in an area. What other 4, that would be St. John's, Josh?
Fauna.
Incorrect. What other 4-syllable noun that begins with the letter V is a synonym for flora? Tiffin Columbian, you have an opportunity to steal. Time. Vegetation is what we're looking for in that particular question. What northern peoples invaded England periodically from 793? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Vikings.
The Vikings, correct. The Appalachian Trail is a hiking trail in the eastern United States, extending almost 2,200 miles that passes through 14 states. Spell Appalachian. That would be St. John's. Josh.
Appalachian.
Correct. In the United States Constitution, what is the only body specifically mentioned in Article 3? The document directs the highest, that would be St. John's. James.
Would that be the judicial branch?
We are not accepting that, correct? We are not. The document directs the highest ranking member of this group to preside over impeachment trials. Tiffin Columbian would like to steal. That would be Alex.
The legislative.
Incorrect. The Supreme Court is what we needed there for that one. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States. What number was Barack Obama? That would be St. John's. James.
41st.
Incorrect. Tiffin Columbian would like to steal. That would be Alex.
44th.
44th is what we needed there, yes. What we mischief maker is said to give a pot of gold to anyone who can catch him? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
A leprechaun.
A leprechaun is correct. Multiple choice question. Often referred to as the father of English literature, he was also the first poet buried in Poets' Corner in Westminster Abbey. That would be St. John's. Josh.
William Shakespeare.
Incorrect. Name this author of the Canterbury Tales. Is it A, Charles Dickens, B, Geoffrey Chaucer, or C, John Milton? Tiffin Columbian, opportunity to steal. Not in time, I'm afraid. It was B, Jeffrey Chaucer is what we needed there. That is all 10 questions in that round. Let's take a look at our score. St. John's currently at 20 points and Tiffin Columbian at 40 points. A very close competition indeed, and we're just getting started. Stick around. Risk and reward coming up next. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. St. John's 20 points, Tiffin Columbian 40 points. Before we move on to the next round, let's meet some of our new players who have joined us for Tiffin Columbian. In slot number 2, we have Casey, and she is a junior. In slot number 3, we have Deacon, and he is also a junior. Joining us at St. John's in slot number 2 is Joe, a senior. And in slot number 1 is Eddie. He is also a senior. All right, welcome to our new players and our returning players. This is the risk and reward round. Both teams are going to get the same questions. The first 9 questions are 10 points apiece, no deduction for an incorrect answer. You may confer before and after buzzing in this round only. The 10th question is the risk and reward question. We will give you a topic, and then you can risk up to 30 of your points in 5-point increments on that topic. You get it right, you get what you risked. You get it wrong, you lose what you risked. However, if you don't like the topic at all, you can simply pass and walk out the door with the 9 questions in your pocket. All right, let's see. St. John's, you are at 20 points. Tiffin Columbian, you are at 40. Tiffin Columbian, you will be sticking around. St. John's, you are off to isolation. All right, Tiffin Columbian, are you ready for your risk and reward round? All right, starts right now. We're going to start things off with a true or false question. The longest continuing sports event in the United States is the World Series.
Let's go with true.
That would be Deacon.
True.
It's actually false. Believe it or not, it's the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby. As of September 6th, 2017, this Cape Verde storm that formed near Africa in the Atlantic Ocean is among the most powerful storms on record. Name this hurricane that followed on the footsteps of Harvey.
They said it on a different question. It's Matthew.
That would be Deacon.
Hurricane Matthew?
Incorrect. Irma. Good attempt, though. The number of units in 1 mole of any substance is known as what? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Ashley.
Avogadro's number.
Correct. Name the skinny, timid school teacher who is scared by a headless horseman in Washington Irving's story. Tiffin Columbian. Ashley.
Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod Crane is correct. Multiple choice question. Which American capital city is farthest south? Is it A, Tallahassee, B, Honolulu, or C, Austin? That would be Deacon.
Honolulu.
Honolulu is correct. What is the scientific term for an organism whose body temperature is not internally regulated and is affected by the surrounding temperature? That would be Deacon.
Cold-blooded.
Will we accept that? We will not. We needed specifically ectothermic there. Which state has the only flag that is not rectangular? That would be Ashley.
Ohio.
That's right. O-H-I-O. Multiple choice question. Who was the only U.S. president to remain a bachelor? Was it A, Buchanan, B, Polk, or C, Truman?
I think it was Buchanan.
That would be Deacon.
Buchanan.
You would be correct. That is A, Buchanan. In chemistry, this is the temperature at which atoms stop moving.
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
I can't give you that. Time. Absolute zero.
I was going to say that.
Risk and reward time. The topic is inventors. You can risk up to 30 points on this topic, or you can
All
pass.
the chips.
Deacon saying all the chips. They're shaking their head. Yes, they're going big. 30 points on inventors. Who is credited with the invention of the game of basketball?
I know his name is, I think it's Cleveland.
Go ahead.
That would be Deacon.
Cleveland?
Incorrect. The gentleman's name is James Naismith. James Naismith is what we needed there. I respect going big. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off for you this time. And that is also the end of the risk and reward round for you. It's now time for you to pack up and head off to isolation. All right, let's bring back in St. John's. Welcome back, St. John's. Are you ready for your risk and reward round?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Starts right now. We're going to start off with a true or false question. The longest continuing sports event in the United States is the World Series.
I think it's true.
That would be Joe.
True.
Unfortunately, it is false. It's actually the Kentucky Derby. As of September 6, 2017, this Cape Verde storm that formed near Africa in the Atlantic Ocean is among the most powerful storms on record. Name this hurricane that followed the footsteps of Harvey.
Not Katrina. After Harvey was 2016, I heard it was 2016, I think.
Time. That would be hurricane, that would be Irma, is what we were looking for there. The number of units in 1 mole of any substance is known as what? That would be Joe.
Avogadro's number.
Correct. Name the skinny, timid school teacher who is scared by a headless horseman in Washington Irving's, that would be Joe.
Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod Crane, indeed, the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Multiple choice question. Which American capital city is the farthest south? Is it A, Tallahassee? Is it B, Honolulu? Or C, Austin?
It's Austin, I think. Because Tallahassee's up.
I'm sorry, unfortunately, time on that. B, Honolulu is what we needed there. What is the scientific term for an organism whose body temperature is not internally regulated? And that would be St. John's. Josh?
Cold-blooded?
Incorrect. We needed ectothermic there. Ectothermic. Which state has the only flag that is not rectangular? That would be Josh.
Ohio.
Ohio is indeed correct. Another multiple choice question for you. Who was the only U.S. president to remain a bachelor? Was it A? That would be Joe.
Buchanan.
Buchanan is correct. Didn't even need it. That's right. Buchanan. In chemistry, this is the temperature at which atoms stop moving. That would be Joe.
Absolute zero.
Absolutely correct. Absolute zero. Risk and reward time. The topic is inventors. You can risk up to 30 points in 5-point increments on the topic of inventors, or you can pass. St. John's, what are you thinking?
No, let's do 30. 30.
Going to go 30 points, going big on inventors. Who is credited with the invention of the game of basketball? That would be Eddie.
James Naismith.
Correct. James Naismith is correct. That is all questions in risk and reward. It is now time to clear our board, and let's bring back in Tiffin Columbian. All right, let's take a look at our score, see where they stand. They went big, 30 points. It paid off. St. John's now stands at 100 points. Tiffin Columbian also went big. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but they now stand at 60 points. Still very, very much anybody's game. Only 40 points separate our two teams. And coming up next is our category round where questions are worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points apiece. All potentials and deductions start. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. We have Tiffin Columbian at 60 points and St. John's with 100 points. Before we get to our next round, let's welcome in some players. Tiffin Columbian shuffled up the deck just a little bit. In slot number 1, we have Ash, a junior. In slot number 2, Alex, a senior. For St. John's, they have brought into slot number 1, James, the sophomore. All right, this is now our category round. Power shifts a little bit now to you, our teams. We have 6 categories to choose from in this round. Inside each category are questions worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points. But that's right, deductions do start now. So if you go for 20, you're actually risking 20 points as well. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. And there's also one, I repeat, one double or nothing question hiding in there. Double the points, no risk. Could be a game changer. Tiffin Columbian, since you're at 60 points, you get to make the first selection.
60s for 30.
60s for 30 points. It happened in the 60s for 30. Identify the year that each event took place in the 1960s. Some years will occur or may occur more than once. First question, Cuban Missile Crisis took place. That will be St. John's. Josh.
1963.
Incorrect. Tiffin Columbian, chance to steal. Time, 1962 is what we needed there. Tiffin Columbian still in control.
Happened in the 60s for 10.
Happened in the 60s for 10 points. JFK elected president. That would be St. John's. Josh.
1960.
Correct. St. John's takes control.
Want to go
No.
types of numbers
Sure.
for 30?
20?
30.
Okay, 30.
Types of numbers for 30.
Types of numbers for 30 points. Based on the given description, identify the type of number described. Form of a number written as a product of a number between 1 and 10 and a power of 10. That would be St. John's. Josh.
Scientific notation.
Correct. St. John's.
Types of
In
numbers
control.
for 25.
Say again.
Numbers for 25.
Or types of numbers for 25 points. More formal phrase for the reciprocal of a number. That will be St. John's. Josh.
Inverse.
Will we accept inverse? We need more specific.
The inverse number.
Incorrect. Tiffin Columbian, opportunity to steal. Time. Multiplicative inverse is what we needed specifically there. You're still in control, though, St. John's.
20.
Sure, why not?
Numbers for 20.
Types of numbers for 20 points. Type of fraction whose numerator is 1. That would be St. John's. Joe.
A simplest fraction.
Will we accept that? No, we cannot. Tiffin Columbian, opportunity to steal. That would be Deacon.
A simple fraction?
A simple fraction, we cannot accept that either. We needed specifically a unit fraction there, a unit fraction. St. John's still in control.
15.
Numbers 15.
Numbers for 15 points. Adjective that describes integers such as 9, 10, 11. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex. You cannot
Whole.
confer after buzzing in.
It's not prime.
That is incorrect. St. John's, you have a chance to steal. That would be James.
Consecutive?
Consecutive is what we needed there. Correct. St. John's in control.
Numbers for 10.
Numbers for 10 points. Any number divisible by 2. That would be St. John's. Joe.
Even.
Even numbers is correct. St. John's still in control.
Sound 20.
Science of sound for 20 points. Give the correct response to the definition of these sounds of science. Unit of wave frequency equal to 1 cycle per second. That will be St. John's. Josh.
Hertz.
Hertz is correct. St. John's in control.
25.
25.
Science sound for 25.
Yes.
Height of a sound wave, that would be Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Amplitude.
Amplitude is correct. Tiffin Columbian in control.
Got it.
What's your major for 25?
What's your major for 25 points? Identify each term that ends in ology. The study of reptiles and that would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Herpetology.
Herpetology is correct. Tiffin Columbian in control.
Major for 30.
What's your major for 30 points? The study of fungi. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Mycology.
Mycology is correct. Not your ecology, mycology. Tiffin Columbian in control.
Major 20.
Majors for 20 points. The study of insects. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Entomology.
Entomology is correct. Tiffin Columbian now takes the lead and is in control.
Didn't mean to. Major for 15.
Major for 15 points. The study of water and its distribution. That will be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Hydrology.
Hydrology is correct.
Major for 10.
Major now for 10 points. The study of human behavior. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Psychology.
Incorrect. Within a group. That will be St. John's. Josh.
Sociology.
Sociology is correct. St. John's gets the steal and control.
What do you sound for 30?
Sound 30.
Sound of science sound for 30 points. Inharmonious mingling of sounds. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Destructive interference.
Incorrect. St. John's, would you like to steal? We needed specifically dissonance there. Dissonance. St. John's in control.
BGSU. 20?
Irregular verbs for 20.
Irregular verbs for 20 points. I will read the plain form of a verb whose other two principal parts, past tense and past participle, are irregular. You name the other. End of round. Would have been other two forms, but there you go. All right, let's take a look at our score. We have, a very, 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 very close competition. We have Tiffin Columbian at 100 points and St. John's at 120 points. Very much anybody's game. Stick around, the brainstorm round is coming up next. Each question worth 20 points apiece, and that's the margin of error. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU Brain Game. Tiffin Columbian, 100 points. St. John's, 120 points. A very, very close competition. Before we get to our final brainstorm round to settle this whole thing, let's welcome back for Tiffin Columbian. Casey, welcome back to you, and welcome back to all of our returning players from the last round. All right, this is the marbles round for all of it. This is the brainstorm round. In this round, questions are worth 20 points apiece, negative 20 points for an incorrect answer. You may confer before buzzing in, but no stealing. I repeat, no stealing at the end of this round. At the end of this round, if we're tied, we will go immediately to tiebreaker questions. You must win with a correct answer. At the end, though, we will crown a winner. We'll meet in the middle, shake hands in good sportsmanship at the end of this game, though. All right, St. John's, Tiffin Columbian, are you ready for your 3 minutes of brainstorm?
Yes.
Starts right now. What is 3 to the 5th power? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
243.
243 is correct. As of 2023, after Mexico, which country has the highest population in Central America with just over 18 million people? That would be St. John's. Josh.
Guatemala.
Guatemala is correct. What is the capital of South Dakota? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Pierre.
Pierre is correct. As of 2023, which U.S. state has the largest population? That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
California.
California is correct. The only active diamond mine in the United States, Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Arkansas.
Is indeed in the state of Arkansas. Who was the first woman to be named a justice of the Supreme Court? That would be St. John's. Josh.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Incorrect. Sandra Day O'Connor. Cochise was the leader of what Native American tribe? Time. That would be Apache. Name the backyard sport in which the players hit shuttlecocks. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Badminton.
Badminton is correct. In a simple machine, what do we call the support on which the lever rests? That would be St. John's. Joe.
The fulcrum.
The fulcrum is correct. Who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird? St. John's. James.
Harper Lee.
Harper Lee is correct. What is the coldest planet in our solar system? Tiffin Columbian. Deacon.
Uranus.
Incorrect. Neptune. On which of the Hawaiian islands would you find Waikiki Beach? Oahu is what we needed there. Your funny bone isn't really a bone. That would be Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
It's a nerve.
It is indeed a nerve. What does a spelunker explore? St. John's. Josh.
Caves.
Caves is correct. Which of the United States lies farthest east? St. John's. Josh.
Maine.
Maine is correct. What kind of rock is granite? St. John's. Josh.
Metamorphic.
Metamorphic is correct. This German dog's name translates literally to badger dog. Tiffin Columbian. Alex.
Dachshund.
Dachshund is correct. End of round. Let's take a look at our score. And we are tied. Tiffin Columbian, 220 points. St. John's, 220 points. This is what's going to happen right now. We are going to go immediately to a tiebreaker round of questions. Question is going to be worth 10 points. No deduction for an incorrect answer. You can steal a question in this round. You must win. I repeat, you must win with a correct answer. St. John's, Tiffin Columbian, are you ready for this tiebreaker round?
Yes.
Here we go. Let's give both these teams a round of applause as we go into this. What a great game up to this point. Here we go. First tiebreaker question, possibly for the win, is which of the Great Lakes is deepest? That would be St. John's. James.
Lake Superior.
Correct, and St. John's is our winner with a buzz-in at the last second tiebreaker round. Don't you worry about that. Let's meet in the middle, shake hands. We'll see you at the next BGSU Brain Game. What a game.